Welcome back to another live trading session, traders. First day of trading week, beginning another exciting trading week as after this previous weekly pretty big move that we are looking at this week as well. Some pretty exciting move later today. Thanks for joining here. Let's look at how we can find in this market trading opportunity to see where we are looking at. So let's begin guys, and beginning another trading day, and this is a week start, and you can see the market. If you look at here now on gold, the price is just crossing another key zone where we are looking for possible entry. It just crossed the daily high, and the weekly, the opening was very exciting earlier today that we have seen, and that opening was significant as the market is approaching this important resistance line here in that area. And so let's look at here that to see what kind of trading opportunity we have as we do the analysis from the multiple time frame here. And we are looking at three fundamental factors in terms of our trading decision. We will be looking at in this market from the sentiment, fundamental, as well as the technical. So the three key factors that you will be looking at in this market. Let's begin this week's analysis, and just waiting for everyone to show up. Thanks for joining here, guys. If you are here, make sure you like this stream and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. And this is an important trading day as the first day of trading week, and you have seen there was a significant move earlier with the market open. So first of all, I'm going to look at the overall trend direction. We will be looking at how the trend is forming, and we will be looking at the multiple time frame perspective here in that market to see where the market is heading at the moment. So looking at first of all monthly chart, and this monthly chart is important because this is the highest time frame that you can see here, and in that monthly price action to see that actually how the market structure is evolving over time. So we can see that from this support level here, there's an initial move back to the upside here, and with this movement that you can see the market is eventually breaking below here. If you look at the weekly perspective in that area here, from the weekly time frame that you can see the market from this high here, there is a rejection back below in that market. So with this rejection here, if you look at that, this is the first day of trading week, and with this first day of trading week, the market has initially from this level initially dropped back below to this support, and you can see the market now going to potentially retest that high again. And if you look at this weekly market structure, you can see back to back 2 weeks the market has eventually crossed this low here in that area. Now looking at daily perspective, now daily market structure is important to see as well, as daily is neither a very higher time frame nor a very lower time frame. So in that daily trend that you can see here, this is a trend line that we are looking at in this market from the daily perspective, where daily support here, the market has moved back to the upside, again support here, move back to the upside. So the market is here, if you look at maintaining the daily support, and there is a head and shoulder formation here in that area, and with this head and shoulder, the market, if you look at, has a drop back below here in that zone from the higher time frame perspective. So three time frame that we can see from the multiple time frame, from technically gold slowly coming down here for this deeper move in that area. Now going back to the 1 hour chart, this is the intraday move, and we see that there was, if you look at here, this is a a stronger liquidity grab, and you saw the market drop again, pullback at the drop. So we also discussed in the past as well about this trend here on, this is the 1 hour market structure, where there is a, here is a false breakout, and off that false breakout it gained that momentum and broken back below here in that area. So at the moment, if you look at here, this is what I was looking, guys. We had earlier one trade in this area, and we successfully closed this trade. And with this successful closure of this trade on gold, and from this level, just want to bring that up here to understand actually how the trade was taken. So this is the gold trade that we have closed in our premium group. For those who were on the group, definitely have seen that trade that was sent out with entry, stop loss, and take profit target. If you look at this is our the trade was sent out during the London session, and I really focus on more on quality rather than quantity, special in trading. And we have just with this weekly opening, just is one trade, guys, and I'm happy with that one trade, because if you look at that one trade was successful. The other trade that on WTI we are running, we'll be also discussing here a little bit more understanding to see that how you can hold a trade if needed for a bit of longer period of time. Now this trade, this sell trade on gold with the London session open, just has been open from that zone here, and as soon as we open, the market has moved in the direction. Doesn't mean that, guys, the market move because we have opened the trade. The market moves because the market need to move. As a trader is to know that when to enter when the market is moving. So if you look at this 1 hour market structure again, we see that there was a large pin bar or the hammer formation in that zone here, and the market, if you look at here, it created that few times the market grabbed liquidity of that zone, and then it reversed from that level and continuing in the direction of the trend. So therefore, if you look at this market here, and that's the basis of the entry from this zone. If you look at the entry here at 4996 level that we have opened this trade, and this is in that zone here. Okay, so if you look at 4996, when the market has entirely broken back below. Now when we are selling in those situations, what we look at is what happened. That means that is the market prepared for a move here? That means is smart money sold or bought this market, right? This is what we looked at, and this is the basis. Now if you look at that, this is our technical aspect of our trading, right? And we need to align also the technical fundamental as well as the sentiment. So if you look at the sentiment is key, right? Currently we see that there is a, if you guys looked at with this current war going on, the sentiment is important, because the market is in fact trading with the sentiment. The emotion is crucial in trading. And I hope that the audio is on. You guys can you hear me? Can you say yes if you can hear me with this current? And we're also going to look at in this market for the upcoming session, and also how the sentiment is playing out with our current movement in the market. So we see that it's important, first of all, looking at the calendar also. Now this week is packed with quite a few high impact news. If you look at later today coming on CAD, CPI, and which also you'll see in this market we'll be looking at, and also because CAD also will have an impact on dollar news as well as in the oil price. And tomorrow also coming cash rate on AUD, which is also will be directly impacting or influencing the gold price, because AUD/USD is also highly the same move that happened with gold as well. So this is a big week in terms of FOMC, in terms of CPI, PPI, as well as quite a few big news that you can see along the way, and quite a few interest rate decision coming, and we will be focusing on time to time, and also JPY, BOJ policy rate coming. So get ready for a big move in this market. And before we go to that, let's understand here. Thank you very much. What is fine. Cool. Thanks for confirming. Now looking at, if you look at the current, so we see that quite a few red folder news as well as the yellow folder, and we just got another yellow folder news here at the top. So they have so this is where the sentiment is coming into play. So we see that so they have hard jump to it, Iran hard during their talk. So there are some, this is also potential for, if you look at some of the details of this, and there is a, that there is a Strait of Hormuz is, I think there are some kind of negotiation going on, but this is also crucial to look at WTI price. You had a trade on WTI, and now with this current the geopolitical tension, Trump's demand other helps to secure Strait of Hormuz. Japan and Australia say no. Okay, so okay, now as we can see, this is now significant tension around it, and that is basically, if you look at the DXY, now we saw that there was a pullback. We will be looking to see that how the shift in this movement also directly influencing the market price. Now it is important that coach, are you running sell trade in gold? Now, we have closed that sell trade on gold and successfully closed it, and it's, if you look at the sell on gold, we have secured the trade and looking for the new entry. So this is our sell trade on gold. If you look at I have shared the full entry and also the trade closure during the time. So we are looking at now for new entry in this live session, and I believe you guys also waiting for an entry. So that being said, now looking at here, gold is now from this support level with this lower time frame candle close, the market is slowly building its momentum back to the upside here, and I hope that, let's see that what's now the current price movement. Okay, so the trade that we have opened in that area, and it dropped to our profit target. We have secured that one, and then now it's on a pullback. So the current pullback that you can see, this is the 1 hour candlestick pair, and if you look at today, there isn't any high impact news coming later today. So if you look at, but with the current, as I mentioned earlier, with the sentiment is bullish for DXY, and you can see also bullish for WTI. Gold on a pullback, but what it is here is bringing an increased volatility in the market. Now the volatility is key. Volatility is very important, guys. If you are not sure about volatility, also we can discuss here, right? Now, too high volatility also very difficult to trade. To low volatility also too difficult to trade, right? And the best trading approach comes when you remain in a stable, volatile market, which has a higher volatility than average, but at the same time, not getting too crazy or too wider, because if the volatility is too high, then it's going to be difficult for you to maintain the predictable market movement, because the market might just move without any proper understanding. For example, at this level here, 5035 level, which is this resistance line that you can see, is a is an area of value, right? It's a key level of resistance. And off that key level of resistance, the market to eventually break below, right? This is the zone that the market to go ahead and then to return again back below. This is the usual volatility if the market does. If the unusual volatility, you could see the market slipping up a lot, right? So this is where you need to look at. Good evening. And by the way, traders, if you're ready for a potential entry here in this market, make sure you like this stream and also subscribe to the channel. And I would like to see the likes is, I think it's 1/8 of the total views. So make sure you do that. Thanks for that. And because YouTube algorithm likes it. Now we need to look at the market to get an overextended in that area here, right? So you can see that this is the current resistance line. Now the reason I have drawn that resistance in a slope, okay, is because the market is going to potentially to retest that zone. That may or may not, but if it goes to retest that zone, where is our overextension or the if you look at that overbought market, right? This is where you will be really making a big progress as a trader. Let me tell you a few points here that can give us an indication for this market to come down. Remember, traders, this is key, and this is where you can gain freedom. Now 2026, right? It's time to take trading as something that can give you freedom, right? What is freedom? Also important, right? What is the definition of freedom? So the definition of freedom is the number one definition of freedom that you can define by the financial freedom, right? This is the number one definition. If you deeply think that, you'll see that actually this is where you need that freedom that can help by trading, because freedom comes when you choose your time and your location and your work. That means you choose what you want to do, and you choose when you want to do, and you choose where you want to do. That is freedom. Because no one can live without doing anything. Action needed to be done to exist, right? So, but what action, when to act, and where to act, when you can choose it yourself, that is freedom. And that freedom comes from the financial freedom. So therefore, trading can help us to gain that. And I believe everyone here is for that. Say yes if you are here for that, right? Now, the second thing that we are looking at here is to gain that skill set, learning that skill so that you can get to that point where you want to go. So therefore, understanding trading will give you a clear understanding or give you something that you can take as a means to gain freedom. Now, for those who are watching here, probably this is your hobby, right? This is what you like. This is what I like. And trading is really rewarding if you know how to do that. So that being said, we are looking at here to learn and to grow as a trader. So here is the key level the market is approaching. So now in this zone here, this is what I was looking at. There are some key points that you can look at for the market to show an indication of what might be happening. So if you look at here the low, okay, so this is where you can see that this is the low, and you see this is a downtrend, but it didn't create a new lower low, and because it didn't create this new lower low, we see the market is pushing higher to potentially create a new higher high. Okay, so this is where we have the advantage of potentially to go short if this market extend above, become overbought in a downtrend, it didn't create a new lower low, very high chance for the market to return again back to the support level. And that's where you want to enter. You want to see the market is going back here, becoming overextended, being an overbought, and then to sell the market. Okay, so now this week, if you look at packed with on Thursday, the biggest for everything, it's gonna be pretty crazy this week, guys. If you look at all of this news coming up, there are market mover, and just to make sure that your entry is not falling into that zone when there is a high impact news coming. Let's look at now. Here is in this market. Okay, so here is the market. This is the 1 hour price action, and this 1 hour price action closing that looking at this market to give us an entry opportunity. And this is the 4 hour candlestick pattern. Also you can see the market, but I think here there is a potential for another break back to the upside. And this move that you can see 30 minutes price action, it has made so far here, and it will be a very good area of value to for sell. You know, the reason I'm saying very good doesn't mean that you will just jump on a trade, but the key here is that to look at this area for a potential rejection on the lower time frame. That's the key here, guys. And with this movement here, the market is eventually could go back here to create a new higher high in that area. Okay, so this is the 1 hour. We still 10 minutes to go for this candle to close. And you see the market has tested the 20 EMA and got the rejection. We might see what I think the best entry will be if the market go ahead and cross this high, which it could do, it cannot do. But if it doesn't do, then we will see the lower time frame confirmation here for further move in that zone. Because the market has made its initial move, the chances for the price to go ahead and cross this high is very high. So looking for an entry here, just to see that how the lower time frame market structure is playing out. This is the 1 minute price action, and there was a, if you look at, it's a one single breakout, and with this breakout, the market now approaching this key area where the price may eventually that breaking that high. But if you see the lower time frame rejection here that you can see in this market, and with this rejection, that expecting the market to eventually come down for this correction here and then to reverse again back below. And this is what looking to see that the market to give us potential setup. The 4 hour price action here that is showing the market to eventually give us that price action confirmation in that area. And we are progressing towards, I think, the session open, right? NY session. So we are moving towards the session open, and that session open will bring some volume here that you can see. And 15 minutes price action that's showing up to be here. Entirely broken back below after this 1 hour price action. Okay, so you can see there is a rejection here, and for us to be able to look for sell, as the market rejected, and I'm looking for sell here because it's a downtrend. If you look at the daily price action, just the market has again we saw that there is a rejection of this daily resistance line. So this is a downtrending market. So you see that there is a 50-minute candle close coming, and in that 50-minute candle close, if we see the price has done enough pullback, all right, so we can see the market may go for this pullback, and with this pullback, that expecting this market to go ahead, retest, and then return. So kindly tell any entry level. Yeah, this is what we are looking at. Just patience is key, guys. We are looking for an entry. And are you ready for an entry? Say yes if you're ready. Here we are looking at an entry in the major direction of the trend. So that's the key to look at here in this market for this move. That we want to see the market is giving us an entry in the major direction of the trend. So this is a long, if you look at, it's a bearish market, and in that bearish market, that looking to see the market to eventually break below here. So the 5-minute candle close coming, and from this high here, we saw the rejection. So this is the 1-hour candle close also coming, and it might close as a pin bar, right? So if it is closing as a red pin bar, so there is another pin bar formation, back to back 2, we might see okay, so you can see some kind of pullback coming, and that's what to look at, because after this 1-hour candle close, traders, if the candle closes as a doji, all right, so the potential for the market to drop is higher, but you could see potentially even another pullback to the upside again, and that is where you will be able to look for sell. And now, because there is a rejection, the current 1-hour resistance is a key level of resistance here that we are looking at to see if the market is going back again for another retest. And I am prepared for any entry as soon as it appears. Okay, the 1-hour candle close coming. Okay, so we see that with this pin bar, the market is trying to break that high here, and in this downtrend, looking to see the market to eventually create a new higher high. Okay, so here is a smaller few long week candlestick pattern that you can see is being closed and opening, and that candle close that you can see as the market is forming this structure in the areas. Return waiting. Thank you very much. Yeah, we are looking at this move for the market to go ahead to this key level, or at least to pull back to the upside for us to be able to sell. And if you look at here, after this pin bar, the market is now slowly pushing back to the upside in that area, and that is where we are looking for this entry in this market. Okay, so here is from this high, the market is, this is where there is a rejection that you can see, and now going back to this zone, breaking that high can bring new availability for an entry, right? So we can see that after this move, a big red candle, now it might go again for another retest, because the 4-hour candle is important, because once the price open on the intraday, we see the prices reach that level, drop back down, chances that it's gonna go back again for another wave of bounce before it eventually come down again. Now here is what we're looking to see after this inverted head and shoulder formation. The market is showing up to be in that direction, and we see that there is the reason there is a volatility here, that you can see there is a significant current that you can see with the market sentiment is highly volatile. If you guys look at that, quite a few high impact news, and this is what that you can see the market is eventually showing up to that reaction, because the market is more often reactive than constructive. This is another lesson, guys, I have learned over extended learning in trading, right? If you guys look at that, everything that I'm delivering here is based on observation, experimental, and extracted from the very, very deep understanding, right? Because there was a time where I spent hours, days, months of time in front of the chart to see how the market is in fact works. So because this is what it is, guys. If we look at the chart, the only visible information is here, right? And you need to, anything that you will be doing, any trade that you will be opening, any trading decision or any decision that you will be making, you have to make based on very little information, right? Because 99% of that information that you can see is you can't find the ground to it. So whether you can find the ground, right? That's very important to consider. An incomplete information, but making an informed decision is where the best trader makes their decision, okay? And to do that, what you need is you need to have a very in-depth knowledge of yourself, right? As a trader, this is where the real difference happens. Now, how can you do that? By committing yourself the things that you are doing. And if you're a trader, if you're not becoming a trader 24-hour, whatever you are, that's where you have to gain that skill set. We are ready for waiting for, thank you very much. Here I'm also waiting for that entry. And if you look at the 1 hour here, we can see that this is where the long wick rejection and the previous session, this formed this pin bar. The market is going potentially up here and then rejecting back below. So we're looking to see the market to go again for this move and then to return again back below. And to go for, here I'm looking still for a sell entry. And if you look at this this is the 15 minutes candlestick pattern I'm looking at in this time frame, because we want to see that potential rejection of this price for us to be able to look for sell. And from the 4 hour, we see that this is the previous session, the price action that closed with a entirely a large with a bearish engulfer. And that bearish engulfer that you can see the previous sessions open was crucial to look at this market to come in that direction here. So looking at the daily here, and this is also, if you look at this, the daily the price action, it's on a new zone here, right? And that new means that what I was saying, this zone, this is a fair value gap, daily bullish fair value gap that we have seen, which has not been tested for an extended period of time. So now, if you look at the market is coming to that zone, which could lead that market back below here to this support level. All right, so looking to see thank you. Okay, so here is some price action that you can see. So I'm looking at the multiple time frame to see actually, in fact, what the market is potentially could do here. Looking at the multi-time frame will always give you upper hand. That is the basis of the technical analysis, looking at the multiple time frame, guys, because what you can see on the 1 minute can be very different on the 5 minutes, can be very different on completely different on the 1 hour or 4 hour. So that's why it is important that looking at the bigger picture will give you a very clear picture about the smaller details. Here's where you can see the market in this area here, and from this support level, the market is slowly building that momentum back above. From this here, the market may eventually cross this high here and could go back to the resistance. And this is where we will be able to see potential trading opportunity in that market. Okay, we can see that move. Market slowly creating that structure back to the upside here. And that's a key level that you can see the market is going back in that area where the price action is showing up to be in a resistance line here in that area. And this is a trend line that you can see. Now, of this resistance line, they're expecting the market to going back here, creating that extension, and then to reject back again. So from the 1 hour, as we discussed, that after this doji formation, the market is slowly going in that zone here to create a new higher high. And if you look at here, there is a rejection. So is this forming an inverted head and shoulder? That is also a crucial question that you need to look at, right? So if you look at, this is an inverted head and shoulder can form, but it is difficult to know that if it is a change of trend or it is just going up and then rejecting back again here in that area. Hello trader, welcome. You will tell us when to enter. Yes, I'm not going to tell you when to enter, but I'm going to tell you guys when I'm entering. That's how we trade every single day. It's your choice. Either you're gonna enter or you can just keep learning to see. Everyone's emotion is different. Everyone's trading style is different. Probably you are very, because I have a long experience, so I'm a little aggressive trader, but you might be a conservative trader. That's fine. And depending on your trades, first, that's why I told you guys that first know yourself. So some traders are very good at scalping. Some traders are good at swing trading. Some traders are good at day trading. Some are marathon runners. Some are sprinter. So depending on what kind of trader you are, you can enter. So you don't have to follow specifically, how I trade, but you have an understanding, right? Or actually how trading works, how analysis work, and then you can find your own way of trading. When I begin my trading, I entirely copied my mentor for an extended period of time. And once I start to understand everything, I twisted everything and tailored to suit my way of trading. That's how this whole universe works, right? When a kid born, first they completely follow their parents, and slowly they can find their own identity to trade the market. So that's how you can formulate your own way of trading the market. That's how it is. I hope that makes sense to you. Thanks for joining. And here we can see the market slowly building its momentum back to the upside here. And that's why you can see the market is going to fill that zone. Since FOMC is expected to, okay, does that mean gold will crash to 4900? That's a very good question. So let me ask you with a pool, right? So because pool results really works, so I'm bringing it as a pool. So with FOMC hawkish, so I posted a poll here to see what majority of the traders are thinking. Now guys, the market is in a zone where we might be considering potentially opening a position with this. If you look at this 30 minutes pricing, which is closing in 4 minutes time, and this is a trend line that you can see the market is respecting, and that's what we were looking to see, that the market to eventually cross this high and then to return again back below. So the 4 hour here also the market is approaching that level. So with the current also sentiment, as we discussed, the market on Trump meeting, we will see if the visit takes place. So some of the economically important news coming. CNBC interview. So there is a scheduled meeting coming, and I think that might delay or may in time. So you see some news terms. There's an analysis here that I see from China help fixing. Yeah, so there is if you look at that, visit might be going for a little bit of uncertainty. That might be an important thing that we need to look at. Other security, Japan and Australia, okay. So okay, so there are some about news about the sending ships on the Strait of Hormuz, which is vital transition, like the transport zone for the oil passage, passage anyway. So that, if you look at WTI price that we have seen the past week, has moved back to the upside, and that's the main reason that you can see now currently oil market is going up and down. So at the moment you can see the market, I think, in this zone here. Now you see that oil is really highly news sensitive. So I think this now the current move that you can see on a pullback or the down move, because whenever there is something coming optimistic for oil, it will drop. When something pessimistic, it will rise. That's how the oil usually moves according to the price action. And if you look at the current, I think there is some other news coming from, I think it's from UK, saying that whatever will work with Alice on. So probably Starmer is thinking to work with Alice on Strait of Hormuz plan. So that creates an, I think, optimism, and that's why you can see some downside. Now with if you look at the coming up, the CAD news is also vital for WTI movement. So here we might see some. Now what I think that might create a break of structure. Technically it's bullish, so if we see that it is creating a deeper drop, we are running on a trade here which is running in profit, and we might be opening further position along the way here. And with the another news that you can see, so they have urged Trump to hit Iran hard during their talks. So that is might be, you know, we will see that how it impact the oil price, but I think it's more of on going to the gold and DXY move. So gold might show some volatility due to that, and if that's the case, we can see the market. If you look at today's and few days XAUUSD price, that we are seeing that movement, which is quite a few days there is a bigger candlestick pattern which is higher volatility, because the market is mainly moved by fear and greed, right? So this is a potentially there might be some panic sell and buy, and that could be increasing the volatility. Not always, but usually the market respond to those as a like the news time. If you look at the news time, when there is a data, there is a increased number of buy and sell. So we can see CPI came out on CAD 0.5%, 2.3%, and 2.3%. So usually less than the forecast. So how does that reacted to the dollar CAD? If you look at, where's the dollar CAD? Come on. All right, so you can see dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is eventually a downtrend, right? Usually it's in a downtrend because of the CAD is stronger than at the moment than dollar, is because of the oil prices going up. So you can see usually it is in a downtrend. So you can see that so far after the previous week's bullish move back to the upside on dollar got very stronger. Now so far if you look at this, usually dollar showing strength in this area here if you look at the 4 hour, but you see the previous 2 sessions as dollar index is getting for this pullback. I think dollar CAD also coming down for a pullback. It's not a very significant price the trade alert now at the moment. So we're going back to gold here, and gold is now again moving that up. So just cross this high, and now this is the current level of resistance that you could see on gold to go ahead and retest, and looking to see and for us to be able to look for the entry, we want to see the market to if you look at, this is the resistance line, which is here key level, and this is a key level here, and with this resistance that we are looking at this market to eventually retest and then to return again back below here in that area. So at this movement that you can see from this level, that expecting the market to eventually reverse again back below here in that area. We might see further move here in that area. All right, so if you look at here, the market might go up further, crossing that high, and that's where you're looking to see the market to give us that entry breaking above 5035. is the important level that you can look for that entry. Thank you very much. So current price action of crude oil is suitable for sell. What's your opinion? Okay, very good point. Let's look at current. I wouldn't sell oil yet. All right, so it's until we see that the market had a downtrend, strong downtrend. I wouldn't look for sell, because the oil, if you look at the weekly price action on oil is, let's look at the weekly. Where is the oil? And you can see there is a doji, and the market might fill this gap, but there might be strong selling can happen if, as I mentioned here, oil is mostly the news sensitive. So if you see that this zone, this what is called the Strait of Hormuz, if that one is being fully open and there is no concern for the shipping of oil and all those, like, you know, like all these things happening in Middle East, the war and all of this attack and all of that stopped, then oil price potentially to drop. That's because it's two things oil price will rise is lack of supply, which is due to the closure of this, or either it's closure or somehow some kind of risk. So those who are transporting, they will not be willing to go to take the risk. So there is a lack of supply and increased demand, right? So this is where the oil price is. So at the moment, until this resolve, then there is a less likely to oil price to drop. Okay. Now, another thing is, this is the main reason that we can see at the moment, because the most of the airlines, I think many of the airlines are not running in schedule, which is reducing the demand, but supply is still very little, right? So this is what we're looking to see. Now, going back to this drop that you can see here on oil, what I think it is a potentially a pullback. So if you look at here, you see that there is a trend that going on this area. Okay, so with this trend, the market is breaking off that trend. What I think that break from the trend can bring potentially new possibility for going long on WTI. All right, so this could be that the market might be doing here. So in addition to that, if we look at the coming up also FOMC. So here is some, where's the FOMC news? Okay, so there is another these are yellow folder. What's that? Someone has put away. Okay, so signals possible delay to Beijing summit as US pressure China to help reopen a Strait of Hormuz. So this is also important news for and it's following with the previous one from other areas. So if you look at UK will not be drawn into the Iran war. So this is will not be drawn into the Iran war. So this is an optimism in terms of the oil price. If you look at WTI, I think that's where this is creating that down. So basically the market trades with optimism or pessimism. These are the two things, because the traders who are usually look for entry, they look for either the sentiment is optimistic or pessimistic. Now this one is optimism or pessimism, we still will not be able to know, because as long as this the oil passage is not clearly open, there will not be that clear supply, and that's the overall move in the market will be hampered. Do you have anything, guys? Breaking news? Share your thought, and to see that actually which way sentiment is going. I'm always curious about the sentiment, because I've seen that actually sentiment works, especially in trading, a lot, right? Sentiment is crucial for entering into the trade. It's very important to look at. If you look at here, some of the instrument that you can see, XAUUSD is moving in that area, and I'm looking at here for this market to show here a potential entry. We saw that after this break, it bounced back again to the upside. Okay, the 1 minute pin bar, this is the 1 hour price action, and with this 1 hour price action, it crossed the daily high again. So I would like to delete all those lines, and potentially we'll be looking for an entry in this area here. So this is the daily high. I'm looking at a new analysis here. It'll keep going up. DXY is dropping retracement. One FX trade. Okay. From daily, do you think gold is going to go up? I think still there is a potential for, now, though the market has come back to this fair value gap, there is a rejection of that. And okay, so here's you can see the market. There might be some upside still. The current level of resistance is 5036. This is the key level. All right, so this is where we need to look at. In the meantime, traders, if you're enjoying, make sure you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Make sure also you can join the Telegram. You can find link below this video for regular update as well as analysis. Okay, so free Telegram link in the description. Also, I'm sharing in the live chat, where also I do share the regular watch list, which is absolutely important. If you're really trading regularly, I do share, whenever I'm sitting on my trading desk, a short list few instruments that I'm going to trade and I'm going to share in the group. Also, I share in the free Telegram for the community to see that today's market. And if you are in the free Telegram, you can access those regular shortlisted update. Also, more often we post promotions in the free Telegram along with the education, so that you can access to all of that. So don't miss out to join the free Telegram. If you looked at today's update that I have shared in the free Telegram, I'm bringing it here a little bit to give you an idea. Today's primary focus that I have shared, this one here on free Telegram. And if you look at that, we discuss about gold, and in fact it worked out exactly. So I have shared the trade direct entry in the premium Telegram. So this is what is on the free Telegram that I have shared. I don't know why there's no sound here. I'll bring it here just to give you an idea, guys, so that you have an understanding of what you get here, how you can use those information for your trade ideas. another trading. So bringing this reference, this is what I have shared in the free Telegram, and just to get an idea of how the market moved, because when you review the past analysis, this is where, guys, you will see that your brain start to catch those moves whenever it happens. That's why I'm bringing it, just to give you an idea that how the market moved, okay, rather than to tell you that how I did, but how the market moved and how you can learn from this for our next trade. Market is breaking that low, therefore this is currently in a downtrend on the lower time frame. So we are looking at for potential selling from the 1 hour perspective, that you can see in this area here. This is a resistance line, but there is also the liquidity sweep with this 1 hour pin bar, and the market has, if you look at that rejected peg below, which is showing that there is a potential for further downside. So I'm looking at possible sell entry of any of this level, as the market has shown that this market may continue to drop here. So going to that zone on the 1 hour, just to reanalyze, guys. So when this candle was forming, okay, so when this candle forming, this was in a very initial stage of this candlestick pattern to form from the 1 hour, and this is where I have sent out this sell at 4996 level, and I have opened as well, and this is where the sell. So it's an analysis, it's an idea, and also it's a trade that we have opened, right? And at the same time, once the trade was open, as soon as I have updated in the group for all the premium members so that you can use it, and this is the trade during the closing of this profit of this trade, right? So it's a complete learning, guys. If you really want to be a trader, consider trading directly, right? Now, one of the, when I begin my trading, you'll see that a lot of ways to learn trading. Now, you'll never be a good driver by virtually seeing how to drive, right? You need to go to the road and drive the car yourself, because driving is hard in the beginning, right? Trading is hard in the beginning, and that's why, that's why I share every trade with entry, stop loss, and take profit in the premium group. Now you can find the ideas on the free Telegram, that you can find link below this video. For the premium group entry, you can join the free Telegram, or you can find link below this video for the website where you can directly access the premium group, where I'm sharing every trade with entry, stop loss, take profit, target, and also every instrument that I'm using, including the AI, the robots that I'm using for trading the market, also available for the premium member. Now, either you use the robot or you trade by yourself manually. Our goal here is to help every traders in this planet Earth to become an informed and best trader. So if you are one of them, then don't miss out to do that. So the goal level. Okay, now we are seeing that the market, after this move, it again, if you look at after this move, we have taken the profit. Now it's on the uprise again, which is on the daily threshold. Now in this area, the market structure showing that from the 1 hour, after this pin bar, it moved back again. Now the market structure here is interesting, right? So if you look at here, it crossed this high, and the current level that I'm looking at, 5036 level, because this is where you will be able to see a high probability entry coming up later. All right, so here is I'm looking at in this zone for a potentially a break and then to return, or we could see a continuation because it can be a false breakout in that area. And with this false breakout that you can see here, okay, so this is a false breakout can be, and with that false breakout the market may break below. So how many of you think that the market is going to cross this low here in that direction? We'll see that where it is heading. Still the trend expected, sir. Yeah, so you are looking here, the market might be, this might be an entirely a false breakout. We see that 1 hour candle close coming, the market slowly, I think there is potential for a downside move. Let's say that if we can consider here for potential selling, I might be going for an entry. Let's see that how the market is evolving here. All right, so I'm preparing for a potential sell entry, not yet, but we'll be looking to see. Let me see where we can look for the stop loss. As the 1 hour candle close come in, you can see the market here showing that there is a rejection back to 1 hour price action. And yeah, so I'm going for a sell entry of this level, keeping stop loss above this high. If the market breaks this swing high, we will not be willing to sell anymore. And here I'm looking at this market, so keeping the stop loss above this high at 5030 with a very smaller risk per trade, of course, and selling TP target at 4978.17. All right, and come on, why this? Okay, I'm selling here, position as 0.59.60, and I'm sharing in the group. It's gonna be faster a little bit. All right, so we have shared the sell. Now, if the market goes up to create a new higher high, will not be on the trade. So if you look at the 1 hour price action here, now this 1 hour candlestick pattern is important to see if this candlestick pattern closing a little down here, because there was a previous 1 hour as a doji, and this one has also tested the high. It's in a downtrend. There is a chance for this market to deepen further back below here in that area. So we'll see that where it's a speculative, and the market left a significant imbalance here in that area. If the price drop to that, we might see the market to nearly come back to 152 pip back below. Okay, we can see that downside of this, and now with this 1 hour candle close, because there is a back-to-back two 1 hour rejection, they're expecting this market to eventually trend back down here. Okay, waiting for this break below. Welcome traders, welcome back to another live trading session. Okay, this week again going back to some of the calendar coming, the schedule coming. So you saw the CAD news came out, and it's coming up later tomorrow. Cash rate, and so with the cash rate, you see that gold volatility increasing. Okay, here we'll see the candle close in 2 minutes, and little bit upside. Waiting to see the market to deepen here with this 1 hour candle close. So the bet here that I have taken, guys, with this 1 hour candle close, because back to back, you see that this the previous 1 hour was a doji. Now this 1 hour again, the market has crossed this high. There is a higher chance for this market to deepen further here. Now, we'll see that with this narrow doji. Okay, so off this level, that looking to see if the market is turning the down back below. One hour candle close. Now it's getting back below. All right, so with this drop, if the market significantly drop down here, especially that I'm looking at 4998, that's gonna be this is a very high area of value, 4998. And if the market deepen here, we'll be able to take that move. Now the other way, move also possible, but I think let's say that if the buyer is getting enough strength here for another new higher high. Do you think so? This is a falling market. And if the market breaks below here, guys, you should be able to see significant move. That's what you want to take. Okay. Forming another few more narrower dodgy candlestick pattern. Are you in a trade? Yes, I'm on a trade. I'm on a sell trade, the one that we have opened just. Thank you. And there, this is a session opening, right? It's a it's volume. All right, so we see that New York session, and there is a volume in it. I'm on a trade. And I have also shared the same trade in the premium group. Thank you. All right, so here is the move. Looking to see, but I think there is a here the possibility for a drop back below. So looking at the news here again, because the news is always important to look, especially when you are looking at the entry. And okay, looking to see. It's too late to enter. No, not too late to enter. It's still getting down, getting into the trade here. Okay, I'm looking to see, guys, for the market to break that low, oh my gosh, so here is come on, the 1 hour, and you know, the way the market is forming, I think there is a very high chance for this possible drop back below. Waiting to see how the market react to that level. If it successfully drop down here, that we can expect holding on to that. Is there any breaking news coming up so far? How's dollar yen? It's interesting. With WTI, okay, so it has done enough pullback. I'm just looking at all of them to see. I think USD JPY potentially preparing for another setup. It's on a pullback as well. It will be interesting to see if the gold is not really breaking below here. It's on a narrow consolidation zone in that area that you can see. It's going to be interesting to see if the market really bounce off this level. But I have very tight stop loss and a smaller risk in case if the trade is not going in my favor. I'm okay with that. I will be looking at for more entry here in that area. We'll be re-entering again if the trade doesn't go. It will be interesting to see if this 1 hour candlestick pattern breaks above. If it reverses from this, it might go up a lot. That could happen if the market reverses of that. And still counting on So going to the 1 hour, so you have to be a little patient here in that area. And so just cross this another. If you look at here, this candlestick pattern in this area, it's a high liquidity zone here in that area, and also to see if the market is rejecting of that. So from that key level, we see some rejection coming up. And once the market managed to cross our entry well below, we will be moving the stop loss at entry. Awesome, thank you very much. All right, so slowly to enter. Okay, thanks. Will the robot run today? Every day, every single day, robot is running in autopilot. It's running by itself. Okay, so robot doesn't require any supervision. So if you prepare with your education and be prepared, then you can get access to the robot. Robot now a little limited to only if you have a good understanding of the market, right? So you have to have first get your education, get better in trading to access the robot, because it is not a good idea always to rely only on robot if you are not having, develop a trading psychology or becoming good in trading, because the ultimate goal, the knowledge is power, to get yourself knowledgeable as a trader, and then you can use additional tool to enhance your trading ability. That's the right thing. Okay, so any situation you have to have the ability to open trade, learn to understanding the market structure, when to enter. So basically, for example, you have a robot, but you have to be also able to trade without a robot. That's where becoming a better trader. For example, here we are opening a trade and with a very smaller risk, right? The market can go in any direction because you won't be able to know exactly all the time for the market direction. But the goal here is to develop a stronger trading psychology so that you can access that trading psychology to build a better trading habit. Now that's where the robot comes. Once you are fully ready in your trading to be able to trade the market, then you can use the robot as well. So here we are looking to see, I'm on a trade, if we might go to the stop loss. If it does, I'll leave it. We'll be looking for the next entry. Still on the trade. Okay, so I just recheck my stop loss. Okay, I'm still on the trade, and if the market reverses off this level, it's gonna be interesting because it has crossed this current level of resistance, but it might move up further. You see that the buyers are, there might be some shift in the market sentiment. This is what happened during the time of war. The market remained very unpredictable because there are some news comes and that probably published later, but the market really react to those events, and then it just crossed the regular level. Here's the okay. So from this high, it's slowly breaking that low. It's a very crucial level. Are you guys on the trade? Still on the trade? Might work out, might not work out. Let's see. Sometime it worked out from a very edge. This looks interesting, but if it works out, that's gonna be interesting. We have very high win rate, so 1 or 2 trades. If it doesn't work, that's completely fine. It's part of trading. Now, if it managed to drop back below, that means it's gonna almost coming back to support level. So the 5-minute candle closed with a big long wick, which is, if it is a pullback, this 5-minute candle long wick is a pullback. We might see the market going up to fill that long wick and continuing to the upside. If it is a false breakout, we might see the market to come back to the support level again. But we see some downside momentum. And I'm holding on to that. I don't want to close in the middle. I don't want to close in the loss. I normally don't close the trade on loss, unless it's not going to the stop loss. $70. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now I'd like to wait to see without any comment. We see there is a significant rejection of this zone here, and that might be, if you look at here, back-to-back 3 1-minute candles so far showing rejection. That might be bringing that market here back below to the support. See that where it is heading at the moment, and yeah, so you can see some move that could be coming to that zone here in that area. I'm holding on to that. Do you see any profit taking in the DXY, or what is your view? Okay, so with DXY, so what's happening with the DXY is, if you look at the weekly market, that you can see the weekly candle closed from this level directly to this key resistance line, and yes, there are some profit taking going on DXY, and that profit taking might come to any of this key level, for which is acting as a deeper pullback potentially. Now you can't say exactly, because if there is a shift in the current geopolitical situation very differently, the market might act again differently. But at the moment, with this weekly close above this resistance, this is a key level, and we saw there was a long-term downtrend here, right? Now technical traders still will look for sell here, though the market trend is up. So therefore, what we could see on DXY now to potentially to dip here, okay, and that dip could be again going back to this order block before it bounce back up. This is what, once we see the market deepen, and if it shows again bullish price action, then you can consider that this market trend continue. Okay, so this is what you can see on that, and you can see that on XAUUSD, almost a similar kind of market structure being shown. So here it's getting rejection. Okay, it's getting rejection. We saw that the market dropped and then again rejected. So there might be a new higher high. Still holding on to that. But the market in a very interesting crucial level that you can see here, and if it gets entirely rejected from this level and start a new downtrend, it might drop a lot in that direction here. Okay, we see that there is a rejection of that level. If it breaks down, I will be holding on for bigger move. Okay, now, okay, so this is 5 minutes. We can see the bearish engulfer, and with this bearish engulfer, the market may, if you look at here, may break below. So if it is breaking this swing low, that we can expect it to come back to 4998. Very high chance, because there is an imbalance here. The market moves from imbalance to the imbalance. So if you look at here, from this zone, the price may drop down back below to the area of imbalance. Looking forward to see the market to show up. Might go back again. Might see new higher high. Out to the trade, and we will be reopening. Okay, so no problem. We might see some upside here. After a long time we had a trade, didn't work out, but see that. Okay, so here it extended above. The market might be going back here. So we are, look at here. $150 pip. We're taking a recovery trade shortly. Okay, so after this 1 hour candle close, the market has interestingly broken above. So there might be now the daily price action. If you look at, might go back to this fair value gap that if you look at here, this is a fair value gap that you can see, and the market might reach that fair value gap, and with this breaking that fair value gap, the market may eventually come back below here. So we're looking to see here where it is heading. All right, so I hope that the stream is on. There has been some disruption, guys, due to connection error. I think it's back on track. Thanks for your patience. Technical issue, thank you for your understanding. It's back on track, and we see the market here. I think that the stream is on. Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for. There's been a bit of technical issue, but it's resolved now. Looking at further entry here, that you can see there are quite a few long week candlestick pattern, and this is where the market is showing up to be. If you look at the 30 minutes, it is another bearish engulfer formation here, and I'm considering looking for another entry here in this area. This is the second attempt for this potential move back below, and with the same strategy here for this possible downtrend back below, and I'm considering selling XAUUSD from this level with 125 pip stop loss. This is recovery trade for the previous one, although the same risk setup. And okay, so here is the same risk setup on looking at this market with this 30 minutes candle close. We could there is a potential for dropping back below. The market still can go up, but I'm open sell again with the same setup. So you see rejection. All right, so we looked at this position here, sell on XAUUSD. I have sold, and my position here with the 1 hour candle close for a possible a downtrend continuation here in this market. So if you look at the 30 minutes, that you can see with this 30 minutes, if this candle closing back below, that with another potential rejection to come down, if the market trends continues, you might see that potential bounce, and this is a very important key area of value. From the 30 minutes perspective, we can see that the market trend to reverse again back. Got that? The candle closed on the 4-hour, and welcome, thank you. There has been a little disruption, but we see that there's a little bit of technical issue. Got back on track, and here there is a couple of areas that you can see the market is and with the candle close, you can see the price action showing for a possible looking at that rejection back below here in that area, and thank you. With a pretty long bearish and bullish engulfer here, that looking to see this market to eventually break below here, and this is where you can see the market start to trend. All right, so you can see there is another a long wick candle being formed here in that area. Cool. So there is a double top here in this lower time frame. I'm still considering that potential for down move. However, if it is going up, that okay, so we're looking to see how the market structure is forming here. Is this going to see a reversal, or you could see that continuation? Welcome. Okay, so there's some kind of consolidation that you can see in this area. Okay, that's gonna the market could see that reversal, and we have almost nearing to the end of this live session, traders. I hope that you enjoyed this live session. Every day is different. We are first day of trading. We are looking for later today some more entry, and after this session we will be coming again live on our next trading day. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this session. We'll see you again very soon trading live. Until that, stay well, stay